Don't you sometimes wish that there was a way to just stand this up on something and amplify the sound and keep it plugged in and charging so that you can watch your favorite YouTuber all day? I think I've got a plan. Today I'm going to show you how to take this scrap piece of oak that we've got here from a cabinet build that we just finished up and turn it into a small piece that we can either sell or give as a gift to a family member. Let's run through it. We're first going to start by squaring up our ends and getting rid of these nail marks here. This wood is left over from some trim on a cabinet that we just built. Now we're going to measure out 7 inches. Make another cut. And then we're just going to trace that and repeat the same cut on our next piece. Now I need a couple pieces for our inside section. We're just going to cut these a little large because we're going to end up shaping these up on the bandsaw and recutting the length anyways. I really like the looks of that. We'll get our first piece cut and then we'll transfer this over to our second piece. So there we have our first curve cut. We're going to transfer that over to our other piece and make sure we have 2 identical curves. Right like that. Now that we have our top, our bottom, and both of our inside pieces cut, let's go ahead and sand these down. You can see there's finish from our previous work that we did on the other job. We're salvaging these pieces. So let's get this finish sanded off so we can get everything glued up, everything will adhere nice and neat, and then we can finish our stand here. And right now is a great time to go ahead and sand and address these saw marks from our bandsaw. Since this is going to go on the inside of this piece, we're not going to be able to get to it later. So we'll go ahead and just flatten all that down now. See what happens when you try to be cool for a YouTube video and you just throw your F-clamp right off the bench onto the floor. Okay, now we have our bottom piece here, our top piece here established. I really like the look of this side for the top, and we're going to leave, let's put this piece on the bottom. So what we have now are two pieces that are going to act as a sound chamber for our speaker. So we're going to leave a little bit of a gap in the center here, and you can see when you put your phone on there, your speaker on the bottom is actually going to go into this slot here for our sound chamber. It's going to kind of bounce off everywhere in between and really amplify the sound waves as they come out. So let's get these glued up, and we'll come back to it here in about an hour. I don't want to get too close to this inside, as I'm not going to have a way to be able to sand the glue back out after everything is set up. So I'm going to leave just a little bit of a gap there. It's going to be perfectly fine. It's not like it's not going to hold. Let's go ahead and get our glue on here. Get our pieces right lined up on our marks. Right like that. Get our glue on these guys. Stuff always wants to move around on you. I could have put this glue on here before setting it on our bottom piece, but such is the way. Get all your glue nice and evenly spread here. Now I'm not worried about these sides hanging over, because we're going to come back and trim those off later. Make sure that everything sets nice and flush. Make sure everything looks nice and neat. Everything's sitting mostly flush. Tighten it down. We don't need a whole lot of pressure, just enough to hold it together here. Now make sure you be like everyone else on YouTube and put an unnecessary number of clamps on your projects. Awesome. So now that we have this contraption, we're going to let this sit and dry for about an hour to an hour and a half. We'll move on and work on another project and come back when we know that this glue's had a little bit of time to set up. Really flush up our edges, sand everything down, and then we'll start getting our finish on it. Now we're just going to get our edges kind of flushed up here. Probably helps the sauce turned on, huh? Take two. Need to come just a hair further. There we go. I really like that. We're going to use this nice flat edge now, since we know that our bottom's flat and it's setting against our table here. Our blade is cutting exactly 90 degrees, so now we know that this angle here is 90 degrees, and as long as we keep spinning and cutting off of that angle, then the angle off our fence and the angle with our blade is also going to be 90 degrees. That's what we're looking for right there, nice and flat, nice and neat. Again, now we know that this is setting at 90 degrees, so as long as we have this flat on our fence, then we know that our next cut is going to be 90 degrees as well. Let's come over and shore up our last side. Now we have all of our sides perfect, all of our sides flush. Let's get to sanding so we can work on finishing this guy. Actually, I decided to give it just a little bit of flair. You can see it looks really nice from the front, but the top just kind of looks like a block of wood. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over to a very slight angle. We'll say 7.5 degrees. And we'll lock it down. We'll line this up with our top corner here. Then if we flip our piece over, it'll give us the exact opposite cut on the other side. And now you can see, I don't know how many of you guys remember those Bose under the cabinet speakers from the 90s, but that really reminds me of one of those Bose radios. All right, so now we need to plunge cut the slot for our phone into the top of our speaker box here. And what I've done is I've offset my bit to where I'm gonna leave about 1/2 inch or so of material across the back. This is gonna plunge straight in. We're gonna run it across, which is gonna make us a plunge cut straight across. And I'm gonna do this in increments. I'm gonna start low, make a shallow pass, lift it. We'll raise our router up into our table. We'll make another pass until we get to the depth that we need. I left these marks here so that I know when to start and stop. I know, if I hit this edge here, my router bit is going to be in line right about here, and this will leave the width of my phone across this cut. I'm just going to run from this mark here over to the mark on the other side, and then we'll lift. So let me show you a plunge cut. So let's raise this up a little bit and we'll make our second pass. Right like that, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to set flush across the back, keep all of your fingers out of the way, we don't want any accidents. Set flush across the back, come straight down until you're cutting into the middle. Move over to your mark on this side, move back to your mark on the left side, and then we'll release. Let our bit stop again, and then we'll lift off. So that's the depth we've got now. We're not quite through. We want to get into our acoustic channel in here, so we're going to raise again. Almost there. I think one more pass will get us right where we need to be. Let's raise up for our fourth cut. All right, so now you can see we've got our acoustic hole here in the front. We've got our cell phone hole, and we've got our hole for our charger in the back. So when we take our phone and set it in there, it's going to set right like that. Our speaker's going to line up with our inlet, which is going to project our music or our video that we're watching through this acoustic channel here and amplify the sound. So we're going to take our 120 grit paper and we're just going to clean up our cell phone channel here a little bit. See if we can come up with something to make this sanding a little bit easier. Now, what was it that my buddy Tim Allen used to always say? I believe it was, when in doubt, add power. And he was like, arr, 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 arr. Right. I'm probably not as enthusiastic as he was. But here we've got our two-part CA glue, a little tip. We cut off a little piece, put our glue on here, put our activator on the dowel rod, and we're just going to roll this around and glue it to our dowel rod. There's step one. And step two, power. There we go. Now we can really get down into these curves here. I'm really liking that. I think that's it. We'll take the rest of our paper, round over our edges here where our phone goes. Make everything nice and smooth to the touch here. Hit all our edges. We're just kind of breaking the edge on here, just making sure it's nice and smooth. We don't have any sharp corners or anything. hit it with a light sandpaper on our sander and get everything nice and smooth. We're going to take it to probably 150 grit, and then we'll start applying our finish. There it is, nice and sanded. All of our edges are broke. Kind of feeling around, making sure I don't, catch anything else that's a little sharp, and just re-hitting anything that feels like it needs a little love. But I think that's it, guys. Let's get some finish on it. Alright, so now we've got our Minwax clear lacquer here. This is an aerosol. It's going to be really neat for being able to get down inside our channel with our spray. It'd be a little difficult to get down into there with a brush or even a rag and having to wipe off the excess. This is a really great product. It dries really quick, leaves you with a nice clean finish. Let's go ahead and get down into our channel first. Just kind of turn it around different angles. And remember, you're going to be putting multiple coats on this, so don't try to hit that entire inside in the first coat and then end up with drips and runs and everything in your piece. So we're going to come through. I want to do my top last, so I know that that is setting up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray my sides and my bottom. Right like that. We'll let those dry. Alright, let's keep layering our coats on here. We'll let that dry, and then we'll come back and we'll hit the top. Alright, all of this is looking great. Let's get our last coat here on the bottom and get down inside of our phone slot here. We'll let that dry up and get a second coat on it here in a second. Alright, so that's it, guys. There's the phone stand acoustic speaker that we came up with today. If you want to get really fancy with this, you could put some feet on the bottom of it. I really like the way that it turned out. You could also use another species of wood for the centerpiece here. Give it that cool two-tone look. But let's test it out and see how it works. You can see your charger cable can go in through the back here, so you can plug that into a wall. Now, I don't have this cord plugged in, but plug the phone in there, hit play, let you hear it out here. Let's put it in the speaker. Sounds pretty good to me. What do you guys think? Pretty cool stuff, huh? Now, something like this I would recommend giving away as a gift. It's something that you could put on Etsy and probably get about $25 to $30 out of it. Something super simple, super quick. I'd say all in all, we probably had about 30 minutes wrapped up into this project. So imagine you can batch these out throughout the course of a day. Get your production shots, get your marketing shots, get them posted, get them for sale, and then just tuck them away in a tote somewhere waiting for somebody to purchase that so you can quickly and easily ship it off to them. Alright, if you liked the video today, please go and subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps, every subscription helps, every thumbs up on the video helps our channel grow. It really means a lot to me. I love being able to bring these build videos to you guys. Also, check out the channel. We've got plenty of other videos that I'm posting. I'm trying to get up about 2 to 3 videos per week. Thank you guys and have a great day.